Hi, I'm Cadence McCracken. No one was ready for the day her mom picked her up early in her best friend's Cinderella dress. It was pure serenity when she discovered the feathered swish of vulnerability radiant in her soft valor like a crocus emerging from February soil. But it was still winter, so we all turned our heads and forgot. Then one day at the construction site atop a steep dirt mound with her Huffy bike, her friends shouted up at her, "Don't be a pussy." So she dropped that princess dress, buttoned up camouflage shorts to blend in with this tiny avalanche of barbed wire camaraderie into aggression and football and games of smear the queer and first fist fights. Never hit a girl, they said, and definitely don't be one. So he put her in a plywood box behind his sternum. A coffin for an open wound they wouldn't stop salting, trying to disinfect this festering aberration of gender, this tuning fork child who felt too much and smiled too sweet. So then stillness. So then depression. Then growth spurt, jaw squared, crossed arms into the golden sarcophagus of becoming a man, encasing that crazy bitch who cried too much. So then mania, then staying up all night and fucking any girl who would grace him with the femme he couldn't allow himself to be. So anarchist, so Molotov that system to the ground because maybe then it would incinerate the black box he carried in his chest with it, sucking down cigarettes like tear gas to stifle her love songs, amphetamines for the speed to outrun the target on her back, then alcohol, a 30-year flood to drown out her cries of "let me out." Till one day, the ocean receded, leaving him sputtering on the shores of rehab. So then detox, then shaking and sweating, and he became she, and she was me, and I am woman. There is nothing left to contain me. I grind closets into kindling. I wrap these prison walls in morning glory and crumble them to soil for birthing this unexpected next testament. I compost the rusted carcasses of artillery pieces and bloom trillium and dandelion, spreading like the forest, reclaiming the battlefield after the slaughter, emerging after decades from this war where I was forced to mutilate my divinity because coming out as trans is victory. It is waking up and declaring I refuse to be a refugee inside of my own body. I won't continue this inquisition of my essence because I am a goddamn heretic in love with her own holiness. I am a trans woman, definition, miracle of her own making. See also this alchemy of testosterone into estrogen, this garden of budding breasts, rounded face, this hair, these hips swaying in the mirror, tracing silhouetted prophecies of tomorrow's reflection. Who I am now. I am her. I am daughter, in her Cinderella dress and glass slippers, without apology, ready to dance. This poem begins with a quote. For the good of society, transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely, the whole preposterous ideology. Michael Knowles at this year's Conservative Political Action Conference. 1. In the early 20th century, Magnus Hirschfeld created the world's first transgender clinic at the Institute of Sexology in Berlin. The clinic provided counseling, document changes, hormone therapy, and sex reassignment surgery. In May of 1933, the Nazis occupied the institute and burned all the books. Not long after, they burned the bodies too. 2. This year alone, there are over 500 bills attacking the rights of transgender Americans. 3, the night Tennessee passes its gender-affirming care ban, I doom scroll until my eyelids sink like shipwrecks. Before me, terrified trans teens slide across my screen like a PowerPoint history lesson. Not repeating the Holocaust is an open book test, and we are failing. Tonight, trans kids all across America are stroking their knives, wondering if they can carve themselves out of a body doesn't fit, mold themselves into an afterlife better than this lump of clay they didn't ask for. 50% of them wanted to die last year. 20% of them tried, and conservative fascists will still insist that they're trying to protect our children. 4. I remember the first time I braided my hair and turned a class full of Southern cis children against me until I had to switch schools. I remember the first time I talked to the boy in public after he fucked me. He opened his palm wider than he could open his mind and tried to knock his own shame out through my cheekbones. 5. This year's anti-trans bills include bathroom bans, sports bans, drag bans, and a bill in West Virginia that would make it a felony to expose a minor to a trans person. They are trying to erase us through legislation, but erasure isn't new to us. 6. In loving memory of the 38 mostly black trans people that were murdered last year, may they rest in power. May we continue to honor their lives by fighting for them with love, for each other with love and courage. 7. As trans people, we both come from and spiral around annihilation. We already tried disappearing, and we are not going back. We have always been here, from Indian hijras blessing babies, to indigenous two-spirit shamans, to black trans queens voguing across the ballroom floor. We have never stopped fighting for our survival. There are some laws bigger than the legislature. 8, law. We are holy. We walk between worlds. 9, law. We are timeless. We've always been here, and we always will be. 10, we will survive this too, more beautiful and ever resilient than ever before. Just watch.